everybody, it's Cheyenne and welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to do a little check-in with you guys, let you know what's going on with me, and then also go through and answer some comments off of some videos, and then just discuss some emails that I've been getting as well. So first of all, hi, how you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing good. Here in Oregon, it's been a little crazy. If you guys don't live over here, the West Coast is pretty much completely on fire. We have fires in California, Oregon, Washington. I'm pretty sure Colorado has fires too. It's just been really, really crazy. It's super smoky, but me and all my family are safe. We did have a family member lose their house, which was tough, and it's just been really tough, but everyone's safe and we're doing okay. I just hope that the fires get under control, which they seem to be getting there. But yeah, so that's what's going on with me, just working and living in smoke. But yeah, otherwise than that, that's pretty much it. It's like cold out today because the smoke, you know, is covering the sun and everything. So I got my cozy sweater on and drinking my, you know, coffee with pumpkin spice creamer, so it's starting to feel like fall. And yeah, so I thought I'd go through and just answer some comments. First of all, I want to talk about some messages that I get quite often, and I've just noticed that the most common questions that I get on Instagram or in my email are usually, you know, I'm unhappy at my office, what should I do? Or I had this experience and I don't want to work at this office anymore. How would you handle this? And first, I just want to say that a job is just a job. And if you're not happy somewhere, don't work there. If you dread every morning going to work, then you need to find something else, especially if you're being treated poorly or you're, you know, being taken advantage of, or you don't feel appreciated. Then don't work there. You know, you really need to find something else. And I know that especially right now with the COVID and everything, that maybe right now might not be the best time, but in the future you should look somewhere else for a job. I'm never going to advise anyone to stay at an office that they don't feel happy at or they don't feel appreciated at. I'm always going to suggest that you find something else. Even if it's not the right time in the future, look for something else. You know, you should be happy to go to work. And I understand that there are days when you go to work and it's stressful and you're not looking forward to something, but that should not be every day. We don't live to work, we work to live, right? So you don't want to, if you feel stressed and unhappy every morning when you go to work, please find another job. And I'm not saying just quit your job today. You know, make sure you have something else lined up, make sure it's a good time in your life, but don't stay somewhere that you're unhappy or you don't feel appreciated. 100% move on, okay? I'm always going to suggest that. Also, a question that I get a lot too is I've failed this exam, I'm losing motivation, or, you know, is this career right for me type of thing. And I just want to say that's completely normal. When I went into dental assisting, I failed my radiation test the first time, my radiology test. The written board exam, failed it. And I thought the same thing. I'm like, wow, this is really hard. Maybe this isn't for me. But just look at it as this is your career, okay? And it's gonna be challenging, but if you're really passionate about dentistry and want to be a dental assistant and get out of whatever other job you're doing, then just look at it as a career change. This is a career for you. It's a great field to get into. Dentistry is always going to be around. They're always going to need assistance. And there's so much that dental assistants can do. It's just, you have to stay motivated and just tell yourself that you can do this and that it's hard right now, but it's not gonna be hard forever. And you just have to get through a few board exams and then you have your license and you can start dental assisting. And also, I get a lot of questions too of how to study for these. Now, everyone is different and everybody learns differently. I am somebody in school that I don't really like to study in large groups and things like that because I can't focus. I'll start talking to other people or like I get sidetracked, so I like to study by myself. I really liked going online and just being on Quizlet and taking their tests and just Googling things and then just reading through my textbook. And I would just Google things and watch YouTube videos. And that's why I started this YouTube channel, because I found it difficult to find YouTube videos about dental assisting that weren't from like the 80s or seemed like they were from the 80s. So that's what really encouraged me to start this channel. So yeah, look on YouTube, watch my videos, Google things. I don't personally think you need to pay for study guides. And I've had that question too, of people like, oh, you should make study guides and sell them. And I've thought about it because I would love to make study guides, but I think there's a lot of good free resources out there as well. And you already have so much money you're spending to get through these programs that I don't want to encourage you to spend more money. So please just Google things, use Quizlet. I love Quizlet. I even thought a lot of the questions off Quizlet were on my state board exam. So do things like that. I know you can purchase tests offline, and if you want to do that, you totally can. I've never really spoke to anyone that thought those were much more helpful than just Googling or their textbook. But your textbook is going to have all the information that you need. But yeah, so that's what I suggest for passing exams and staying motivated. But anywho, let's get into some comments. So one that I seen recently is from Esmeralda. It says, how long do temporary crowns last versus permanent crowns? So a temporary crown is a crown that we put on a tooth while we're waiting for your permanent crown to be made. Usually, depending on the office, if they make them in office or if we send them out, you're supposed to have them anywhere from like 2 to 4 weeks. And that's usually how long they're made to last for. There's also stainless steel crowns, which are technically a temporary crown. They're not meant to last a long time. Some people do have them for a long time though. There's also like aluminum crowns. So stainless steel crowns and aluminum crowns is what we usually put on children, because these are baby teeth or they're still growing. So you don't want a permanent crown in a child's mouth. And those are not made to last for a super long time. But a stainless steel crown or an aluminum crown, I mean, those can last for years. 1 year, 2 years. It's just you're not gonna have a great seal on them. So bacteria could get in there, you could get decay underneath them. But a permanent crown is made just for you. So we have contoured the tooth to make the crown fit perfectly on, the tooth. So you're gonna have a great seal, no decay should get in there, you're not gonna have any open margins. So those crowns are designed to last for years and years and years and years. My suggestion is to go for a full zirconia crown or a gold crown. Those last the longest. The PFMs are good crowns, but there's metal underneath them and it has porcelain on top. So most people's complaint is when they come in after they've had it for a few years is maybe some of the porcelain has chipped off and some of the metal is showing. And then they want a new crown because they don't like the look of it. But those crowns, permanent crowns, are made to last for a long time because they're totally sealed. And stainless steel crowns and the aluminum crowns, the temporary crowns I talked about, those are pre-made. So we're just putting it on your tooth and they're not gonna have a good seal. They're gonna have an open margin, they don't fit good. Those are not made to last a long time. Sorry, that was a lot. Hopefully I answered your question. Somebody just said, my DA instructor said when she first started they had 0 PPE and had to wear skirts. She also said she worked for a dentist for 10 years and never saw them wash their hands once. That's because years ago with the dentist, actually it was before the AIDS crisis, or when AIDS became a big thing. They didn't wear PPE, they didn't wear gloves, they didn't wear masks. Instruments weren't properly sterilized, they were kind of just rinsed off because they didn't really have a fear of getting anything. But then after the AIDS epidemic, gloves and masks and all that type of stuff came out. So a lot of old school dentists, it was hard for them to change and get used to wearing all that PPE. So they retired, or maybe they were a little relaxed on that type of things. Also, if you've ever been into like an older dental office, they have the sinks that you spit into. Well, those aren't around anymore because they're not good. Like, they're a biohazard. You're spitting into a sink, and then the assistant or whoever's cleaning the room is having to clean the sink. It's just not hygienic, and it's not good. I mean, spit is a biohazard. So I can totally see why she said that, and that now should not be happening. Your dentist should be wearing a mask and gloves. And if you go into a dental office and he's not wearing gloves or a mask or safety goggles, I would probably go elsewhere. That's not good. Also, she had to wear skirts. I've heard of this before, actually at an office in my town. And every office has a dress code. I worked for a dentist that we had to wear all white, which was really weird. But every office has a dress code, and skirts I would feel would be a little inappropriate. But I think that probably was back in the older days when, you know, women wore skirts a lot. But anywho, I personally probably wouldn't want to wear a skirt to work, but some dentists do have dress codes for the dental assistants. And then she said the dentist never washed his hands, which again, that's bad. Some dentists, or most dentists now, they wash their hands before coming into the room, but then they use hand sanitizer before they put their gloves on. So yeah, that probably was back in the olden days, I'm assuming. What else do we have? On my 4th interview, everything was going well until dentist asked, why the heck would you drive an hour commute? He laughed at my program I went through. If you live in a small town, you have to travel outside your area. Well, I'm sad that happened to you. If somebody was going to make I think with the commute thing, which I'm going to be honest with you, they have a fear that since it's such a long commute that you're going to be late to work, or, you know, if there's traffic, it's going to be harder for you to get to work. So if someone were to make that comment to me, I would just say, you know, I understand your concern with me living so far away, and, you know, it is a long commute, but I'm dedicated to working in your office. I'm dedicated to being a dental assistant. I want to learn as much as I can, and I am willing to leave super early from my house to make sure I'm always here on time. I will always be, you know, 10 minutes early. I'm never going to want to leave early. I'm always going to leave, you know, when I need to leave. I'm never going to ask early to leave because I have such a long commute. I'm always going to try my hardest to get to this office. And if you approach it like that, I think the dentist would understand, and just be honest with them. Say, you know, there's not a lot of jobs where I live. My plan is to move closer to the office maybe eventually. You know, if this job works out, I'm willing to move closer to the office because, you know, I'm passionate about dental assisting and I'm passionate about working here. You know, you have to understand their concern with having an employee that lives an hour away. And I know there's areas like California and stuff where everybody lives far away, everyone commutes, but I can see why that's a concern for the dentist. And then he laughed at the program I went through. Well, that's just rude. But like I've said in other videos, you want to do your research on programs that you're going through. Ask around, because even in my town, there's a certain program that I've heard so many dentists and employees say, like, oh, they graduated from that program, we're not hiring them. Because the program is known not to be a good program. It pushes dental assistants through, it doesn't teach them well, they don't get a lot of hands-on experience, and they just had bad experiences with dental assistants from that program. So again, that's rude, but do your research on the programs that you're going through. It's really, really important. And then I saw this comment on the video that I did with assisting patients with disabilities. Someone said, wait, do they not explain each step in the process to every patient? And maybe in my video I didn't explain it well enough to you, but no, during a procedure, if you're just a person coming in for a filling, I'm not gonna be like, this is my suction and it vacuums. It's like a little vacuum, and that's the handpiece, and it sprays water, and we're gonna spray water on your tooth, and then we're going to remove, you know, the sugar bugs or the decay, and then we're gonna put the filling in. We're not explaining the whole process to every patient, and maybe some offices do that, but I've never worked anywhere where we're explaining the process like that to every patient. But when you're dealing with a child or someone with a disability, or someone that's even nervous, it's nice for them to know each step so they don't get scared or startled. So that's what I was trying to explain in that video. But no, we usually don't explain each step to every patient, because we do fillings all day. Like, we can't explain each step to every patient. If they ask, then yeah, of course we will tell them. But that's more what I was saying, is you're going to go into a lot more depth when you're working with somebody that you trying to keep them calm and just explain what's going on. And yeah, so that's what I was trying to say. Someone asked, what are SRPs? So an SRP is a deep cleaning. It's when the hygienist has to clean below the gum line, so on the root surface. So she has to get the patient numb for that. And she usually does one quad at a time, so upper left or lower left, upper right. So it's broken down into usually 2 to 4 appointments, depending on how much they can get done. But these appointments are longer because they are going below the gum line and they have to get the patient numb. So it's a deep cleaning. It's for people that have bone loss, or where like calculus has gotten below the gum line, or they haven't had a cleaning in a super long time. So that's an SRP. What if the new assistant is doing front office? Is it better to try to just learn anything or stay focused on RDA skills? And if you don't know what an RDA is, I know some states is DA, but RDA is registered dental assistant. I say when you're first starting out, whatever job you can get in a dental office, take. If it's front office, if it's sterile, if it's assisting, whatever it may be, take it, because they might move you into another position. It'd be a good learning skill for you. Me now as a dental assistant, unless I was planning on taking a break from dental assisting, I wouldn't take a front office job, because that's not something that I want to do. But if you're just starting out, I say take whatever you can take to get your foot into a dental office, because I started out as a sterile tech. I did sterile for like 6 months, and I was supposed to move to a dental assisting position, but the office I was in actually closed. And then I went and applied as a dental assistant at another office. And since I had worked in the other office as a sterile tech, I knew the instruments, I knew how trays were set up, I knew my way around the dental office. I also did like some front office stuff where I scheduled patients. So I had some knowledge of being in a dental office. So it made it easier for me to get a dental assisting position. So yes, just starting out, take whatever you can get, but be willing to learn. Like if you're in there and it's slow, you know, ask if you can watch a procedure. Ask if you can, you know, make them aware that you want to do more than just front office. And then this was on my how to make a temporary crown video. She asked, what if the patient already had a chipped tooth or damaged tooth before taking impression and doctor worked on it? How do you make a normal looking tooth? So for me, I take the impression and then I use a instrument to kind of carve out the broken part of the tooth in the impression. So I just make a full tooth. And then when I put in the temporary crown material, the tooth might come out a little like square or something because I've carved it, but then I just round it off with a burr and just make it, you know, contour it more to look like a tooth. There are other ways you can do it. You could, if you want to get real fancy, I've seen dentists like take an alginate impression, make a clay model, and then get some wax and like fix the tooth and then take the impression off there. But yeah, I usually just carve it out with an instrument and then contour it with a burr. I get this question a lot. It says, where did you get the models? I get all my models mostly off Amazon, or I've been given them from other people, but most of them I found on Amazon. All right, well, I think that's all that I have on here to answer. I'm gonna try to do these videos more often because I do get lots of comments and I try to answer them, but I miss a lot of them, so. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.